Hey guys, welcome back to Terps Esports. My name is Hayden.
I'm Lily. Today we have the Valorant Academy team in the studio for the first time in an NECC playoff game. So this game's a pretty big deal. It is a semi-final playoff game and they're playing New York Tech.
Yeah, very big deal. And might I mention that this is the first time the team's been in the studio, so it's got to be pretty exciting for them.
Yeah, I can imagine. They must be stoked to be here. A lot of nerves in the studio already. We are waiting for the opposing team to get into the lobby, so we might have a bit of a delay before we actually get things started here. But hey, we're here to kick things off right now.
Yeah, and to start, we're going to go over some of the players on the team. We do have a couple missing players in this list, but we'll do as much as we can. All right, and first off, we have Salamander. He's our controller, and his favorite player is Omen.
And then next up, we're going to be looking at Rewind. He likes to play Duelist, and his preferred agent is Jet.
And then last up, we have Ugg. His role is a Sentinel, and his favorite player is Cypher. Now we do have a little bit of an interview, so please do welcome Ugg. Ugg, how are you doing?
I am doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing great. So, we talked about, or we just said your favorite agent is Cypher. Why do you like Cypher?
He's probably just the rattiest agent in the whole game. Like, I can just sit on site and do nothing, and they just run into me, and then I kill them. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. So, I heard some good words about your season so far. I've heard you guys are undefeated. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, we are undefeated. It's been a really great season. All the players on this team are really cracked. And, yeah, it's been a great time getting to know them and getting better with them.
Yeah, that's great to hear. So, like I said, this is your first time in the studio. How do you feel?
It's really nice. I mean, it's nice to be in the studio. It's nice to be with the team. And, yeah, it's nice that this is getting streamed, too.
Good. Yeah, so today's the semifinal game, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
Feeling pretty good. We've done a lot of prep, had a lot of practice. Just not too worried, I guess. Good.
And before I let you go, so we just got off of spring break. What was the most memorable part about spring break for you?
Honestly, I didn't do a lot, but I did go on some hikes. So
That's
I
great.
hiked a little bit of the Appalachian Trail, and that was nice.
That's great. Well, guys, please welcome Ugg. He is the Sentinel player, loves Cypher, and we will catch you guys in a minute.
Whether you're a new publisher or app developer, or if you've been around the block for a little while and you have your own ad ops team, Playwire is developing the solutions and products that are perfect for you.
RAMP stands for Revenue Amplification Management Platform. But really what it does, it helps you make more money per user, and it helps you simplify your business so you can just focus on what matters, which is making great content. So if you think about today's ecosystem, there's so many different pieces to run an ad tech platform.
RAMP brings the entire ad ecosystem under one umbrella. Everything from centralized ad unit creation to piping in those demand sources. We layer on a DMP, and we take care of your data privacy and consent management for you as well. We tie all of that together with robust analytics.
Playwire really offers our publishers two different models at this point. We've got the full service model where we come in and we cover everything. And there's now our new self-service model where you can come in and you can say, I just want Playwire to take care of some of these things for me. Another thing that we've had a lot of partners do with us in the past is say, hey, maybe I have a few of my own direct campaigns that I want to run. Or I've even got an ad ops team. I don't know whether Playwire is right for me because those people are doing a good job. We don't want to displace them in favor of Playwire. That's fine. We're happy to bring all the technology that we've put out there, but use it with your own team and with your own ad stack. What does that mean for you as a publisher? It means that you get to leverage all of the revenue maximization technology that we've got in place and still have all of the capabilities and all of the demand partners that you're used to working with. You can have your cake and you can eat it too.
We actually do things at such scale, right? We're serving 70 billion ads a month at this point. That's a huge benefit that we're passing on to the publisher.
Revenue intelligence marries human intelligence with machine intelligence. At its core, revenue intelligence is about taking all the demand that you're already getting and getting more out of it. We want to make it so that you're getting 10% more from your ad inventory without even worrying about who the advertisers are. It's based on us going in and understanding what are the places where we can put additional price pressure on it. There's all sorts of situations like this where you can eke out little benefits and add them all up. You're quickly at a point where you are getting that 10, 15, 20% uplift on your revenue without having made any changes in who's actually doing the advertising.
Our DMP is built from the ground up to work in a cookieless environment and not use cookies to basically store, user behavior or anything like that. And it's built right into the RAMP platform.
We can tell advertisers information about user interests, but also user behavior, do it on a massive scale, do it in that real-time way that we also do with our revenue intelligence capabilities, and also do it in a way where we can leverage the size of our network. We're trying to do everything that we can to show you every step of the process of getting an ad onto the page. That means that we've got much richer charts and graphs, a lot more ability to look at a piece of information and drill down on it, answer that question that maybe you didn't even know that you were asking. We're trying to make you think differently, actually, about your business, about how your business relates to advertising, and reveal all of that through the platform. So analytics are one big piece of it.
It's a constant evolution. We're constantly updating our technology. We're constantly creating the future.
It's a real challenge for publishers these days to navigate advertising technology. It seems like every 6 months there's some new challenge. And at Playwire, we make sure that we take all of that pain away from our publishers so they can focus on their core business of publishing.
Terp Adventures take flight at Stamp. Host to countless Maryland events, programs, performances, and more. Feed your body, feed your mind, feed your soul. Let your talents soar. Dance, sing, perform, find your thing. Join more than 800 student organizations and clubs. Find community here. Leadership lives here. Art thrives here. With space to grow. We're all just kids at heart. Let your imagination fly. Compete. Play. With wings on our feet. Here your spirit can fly. Here your soul lifts up. Here you remember those who came before. This is STAM. This is the Center for Campus Life, where Terp Adventures take flight. You belong here. Come fly with us.
Whether you're a new publisher or app developer, or if you've been around the block for a little while and you have your own ad ops team, Playwire is developing.
Hey guys, welcome back. We have word that our first map is going to be Split.
Yep.
And then afterwards, we're going to be heading into Icebox. And then Sunset will be the decider.
Yep. So on Split, UMD will be starting on defense. On Icebox, UMD will be starting on attack. And on Sunset, UMD will be starting on attack as well.
I'm so excited to see Icebox. I love Icebox, underrated map. I think the changes really helped. I know it's our second map, so my enthusiasm is a little bit early. I know we got Split to go through first, but I think Split's going to be a great map too.
Yeah, especially with UG playing Cypher. I mean, Cypher's just great on Split. There's not much you can really ask for.
Yeah, having a solid Sentinel pick on Split makes all the difference for your team, especially on the defensive side. It is so hard to execute B-site with those Cypher one-ways, so I think that's going to lend some big advantage to that side.
Yeah, and Cypher being able to like spread his utility out around all across the map, literally anywhere you want, is really good for like combating those defaults that you see, or just adding another layer of support throughout the entire map.
Yeah, and another big factor into this game is this is, one, the first time this team has been in the studio. I already mentioned that. But two, this is a playoff game also, semifinals. So there's a lot of factors that this team has to deal with to readjust and, settle into their roles in order to come out with a win.
Yeah, definitely. And we did get word that the other team is ready to go, so we should be starting pretty soon.
Yeah, this is exciting. I don't know if they've played New York Tech before. I don't know if this is the first time they've met in the semifinals. Like, of course, that'll be another thing that this team would have to consider, is kind of dealing with a new team and what they're going to throw at you for the first time. So I'm really hoping, I think, especially in the early rounds, I think this game is going to be all about settling in to their places, kind of shaking off any nerves they might have, getting comfortable with the new setup and new environment in the studio.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the track record this team has already, I mean, they're undefeated, so it sounds like they've got a lot of confidence going into this game too.
Yeah, as they should. An undefeated track record is a big deal for this team.
Very big deal, yeah.
That's a huge amount of confidence you have to carry on your shoulders, and it'll be important for this team to kind of remember that and bring that confidence into this new space and playing, with together, like side by side for probably the first time this season.
Yeah. So Lily, I do have to ask. I asked Ugg, what was your most memorable thing about spring break?
I didn't do much. I caught up on my Valorant. I haven't played Valorant in a little bit longer than I'd like to admit. So I played a lot of Valorant. I did watch VCT. Sentinels came out with a win, and I paid a lot of attention to the new agent Clove. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've seen a little bit about it. It looks pretty cool. I think personally, I think it's kind of a mix between Astra and Phoenix.
Yeah, and I love that they're a Sentinel, but they just have all these kind of duelist-esque abilities that you allow for a bit more.
I
of
thought they were a
aggression.
controller.
Oh yeah, they might be a controller. Yeah, because they have smokes. But
yeah,
I'm really excited to play Clove. I love their whole aesthetic.
Yeah, I mean, just one of the things that I was looking at was the I think it was like the immortality bubble or something. The thing that makes enemies vulnerable. That I think will be really good coming in the future.
Yeah, and we are in agent select. We do see UMD immediately locking in that Cypher, just like we talked about. Double initiator pick for UMD as well.
Yeah, we have a Gecko here. That's a pretty interesting choice. I mean, with the Raze too, the Raze Boombot and the Gecko Wingman. There's so many corners you can clear.
Yeah, and the double initiator pick, I think is going to help them out a lot on attack. They do have a strong defense with the Cypher and the Omen together, but I think that'll lend more aggression on the attack side as well. I'll be interested to see who their duelist pick is. I'm assuming Raze.
Yes, yeah, it was Raze. Yeah, and especially using that breach stun too, capitalizing off of where exactly enemies are and just throwing a bunch of util at them. It's not much you can really do when you have a wingman coming and you have a Dizzy, Raze nade, breach stun. At that point, you just have to take your hands off the keyboard and give up.
Yeah, and I saw on the New York Tech side that they did pick an Omen. I didn't really catch who else they picked in agents.
They did Raze, Breach, Viper, Omen, and Cypher, I believe.
Okay.
So running the double controller composition, which quite frankly is not too uncommon on Split, especially with Viper. I mean, the way you can utilize her walls, cutting off a lot of sight lines on A specifically, really trying to cut down the amount of choke points that you have, especially in the later games when people start to use ops.
And here we are into the game. We're a little bit already through the first round. UMD has found the numbers up advantage to start things off. It looks like they've been able to achieve that by playing pretty aggressively, it looks like. And it does look like Bluey will get taken down, which is gonna just help New York claw their way back a little bit, as it looks like they're trying to execute ropes into A, where it's just Ugg holding back on this A side. I'm not sure if he's set up there. It doesn't look like he has the information or the read yet that is where the New York Tech players are sitting. Maybe they're just looking for a pick right now, honestly.
They are all clumped up in vents.
Yeah, it does look like they're just looking for a pick. They're not going to find it, though, with Rewind finding a kill. And, again, just UMD
30
keeps,
seconds left.
finding their picks there.
And Salamander did get spotted. Took a little bit of damage there.
Yeah, it does look like New York Tech will be able to secure the plant, but not for long, it looks like, because Ugg is creeping up onto the site. And I don't think New York Tech is aware of his positioning. Yeah, it does look like there's eyes on that smoke that he's planning on popping out of. And Salamander is coming through in garage there. And all attention is going to be on Ugg, and that's going to let him be taken down. And the first round goes to New York Tech.
Yeah, I'll have to say that was a pretty smart play from New York Tech right there. Just controlling mid and just being really patient there.
Yeah, they sat mid for a long time just to see where they got a pick. I thought they were going to hit A fast.
I thought so
but
too.
They kind of held back, and I think that's what won them the round.
Yeah, that patience to really trying to figure out where being aware of where UG's Cypher trips are and his util has really kind of helped him out in that round.
Oh my goodness, looks like UMD's aggressively pushing out of this A site where there's just a brawl. Nearly every single player from both sides is crowded around that one area. It doesn't look like anyone's backing down either, and there's a nade kill off of Bluey, but the trade is there. And it's just continuing to be just back and forth here, but UMD is not coming out on top, and now it's just up to UG, who was nowhere near that fight, to deal with a 4v1.
Spike planted.
UG here, only with a classic. This might be really good if he gets a right click. He does. That's a Vandal. That's super huge for him.
Yeah, he picks it up, tries to pull it out quickly, finds one, looks for the second,
Oh!
found the second, but just one off from getting a pretty amazing clutch. UMD is down 2 though.
Yeah, but I mean that's most of their guns out of their hands too.
Yeah.
That they just have one Vandal now.
Yeah, let's take another look at this. Finds the first, like, spray transfers to the second and just couldn't catch the third, but understandably so. There was 3 people in front of him there.
We're seeing some of UG's Cypher tech here. Let me see here. Oh, that's new.
That is new. Yeah, very different gameplay or game plan from New York Tech. Instead of that crazy aggression we saw last round from both sides, honestly, it looks like both sides are being a little bit more passive to start things off. Spike not in hand for anybody on New York Tech yet, which says a lot about their game plan here. I think they're looking for a pick to start things off. It looks like they'll start to regroup towards B site, where there are 2 UMD defenders.
Yeah, but look at that Cypher.
Yeah,
Cypher lurking.
Yeah, they might be giving UMD some false information here with that Cypher pushed up so far. But it does look like they're going to make their presence known B site. And Paso finds the first for UMD Salamander with the second as the fast B execute is happening. And there's trades back and forth. UMD somehow landing up on top.
Yeah, that was really big. They did find that Cypher and pick him off. And frankly stopped an entire push.
And yeah, now New York Tech has to pull something together with not a lot of time, 27 seconds, and looks like they might be trying to execute B with the Viper running up mid, trying to find a pick heaven. But I'm not sure if this is going to work just because of the numbers UMD has on this B site. Yeah, and utilities being dished out as well for the UMD side, although Rewind does fall. But Paso's there to clean up one of the players on the attack, and UMD can just rely on numbers there for security.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, this has put UMD in a little weird situation because now they only have 2 guns going into the next couple rounds. Well, New York Tech has, I think, is sitting pretty good financially.
Yeah,
yes, they are.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They have.
But look at UMD too. They were able to scrap away some Phantoms and a Judge too.
And it looks like New York Tech, with weapons in hand, are gonna be mid and A. UMD pretty spread out across the map. And they do have the Viper Wall to help them out. Looks like they're gonna use that Viper Wall to get up into A heaven, where they're gonna interact with probably UG if he decides to push up there. And Rewind with the Judge, who could be deadly here, but I don't think they're gonna decide to push up B heaven, so he might have to reposition.
He does get taken down, but so much damage done already.
I have retrieved the spike.
Yeah, and UG and Napaso just able to find theirs as well, and UMD out of 4v3, it's gonna force the rotate into A heaven, but no, the Judge is not enough.
Shots.
The Judge just couldn't get it done there. At that point, it's just a question of reaction time, and the Judge gets picked up and potentially used against UMD, and that's exactly what ends up happening as Salamander falls to that Judge, which is still sitting heaven, and UG pushing up here. The HP is looking dire on the New York Tech Tech side, so UMD might have some leeway here to make something happen, especially with this Gecko ultimate, but doesn't end up hitting. But the sky is so low, Ugg gets it done anyway. And we're down to a 1v1 with Napaso and the Cypher on the other side, who just has the timing off of that flash.
It was a really good play by the Cypher there. He already knew where he was. So at that point, you just got to like move around, be unpredictable, and that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, UMD is right in this. They have lost a couple of close rounds. I don't think they're in any place to panic so far. I know they are down 2 rounds, but I think as soon as they get some weapons in their hands, things are going to start looking a little better, but not this round, as they only have, actually, yeah, they only have classics, I think, or like 5.
Yeah, classics, light shields, and a ghost.
Fast A execute from New York Tech. Looks like most of the players are going to be headed up into heaven, where it's just Ugg. Once again, UMD defenders are going to have to rotate from A side to help him out if he wants any chance of surviving this aggressive push. There is the setup there, but no, Ugg cannot hang on to his life for long enough. But Rewind did rotate, was able to help him out. With just the classic in hand, though, can't do much. Gets traded right off the bat. Salamander soon to follow, and it's all falling apart for UMD.
Visor does leave this round with a 3K. Yeah, New York Tech just kind of pinched UMD up in heaven there. I mean, they had angles from everywhere. They had one CT, they had one by ramps, and I think one was in window, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, they really didn't pay a lot of attention to the A side. Or they've just, UMD's been pretty spread out, their defenses, at least so far. Maybe they're going to try to gamble stack some sites, as that's what it seems like New York Tech is banking on them not doing. Looks like a stacked push up mid. Mid is not being watched by any UMD defender, so New York Tech's going to have to make a decision here if they want to hit A or B heaven. For them, it looks like A would be the smarter option, considering there is a bit of congestion up into B heaven.
A lot of congestion, too.
Yeah, not sure if they have that information yet. Doesn't look like it.
Looks like the Gecko might be going. And Salamander with the flank. That's huge.
Yeah, it's a huge flank. It looks like he's going to actually back off of that flank, which I think is a great decision because it's going to draw a lot of attention.
Yeah, that is a very smart decision because now you have to cover a lot more area. New York Tech doesn't even know that he could still be there.
Yeah, and Flux is just walking, tiptoeing up into A. He doesn't have the spike, and he hasn't been spotted, so not sure if that's much of a lurk at all there. Rewind does get traded as Brawls continue into Heaven. Napaso finds his, looks for a second, finds the second. Heaven is secured for UMD, and the spike along with it.
They're well aware of the position, and Salamander does get the final kill there.
Yeah, UMD is just slowly crawling their way back into this game. Their economy is just going to get better and better as they keep winning these rounds, and it's hopefully going to get easier for them as they start to get weapons in hand.
Spike down, B. One here.
That was a really good shot there. I think just being able to like have discipline, like trigger discipline, like you missed your first 2 shots. Okay, reset. Being able to do that is probably one of the like hardest things to master in Valorant.
Yeah,
especially
I totally
just resetting your spray, because sprays sometimes are really beneficial and sometimes could really screw you over.
I totally agree, and yeah, very poised from the UMD side that round. Oh, aggressive push from Rewind. He finds one with his showstopper, but gets traded in the process. Salamander is going to follow up, though, finding one for himself as well. And things are a bit of a stalemate. There's no progression onto this A site. The spike actually is on B with the Viper holding it with no one to back them up.
Salamander gets a great headshot.
Yeah, now that's the spikes completely secured for UMD. This Cypher would have to pull off something crazy here. He would have to win a 2v1 or get his hands on the spike, which is being heavily defended by the UMD side.
Yeah, UMD's got to play this really careful too, because Flux so far has been popping off too. So they really got to play their lives well. As you see, they do have a crossfire set, so...
This is going to require a lot of teamwork from the UMD side, coordinating how they want to play this crossfire, and or if they want to double swing, high-low it. There's a lot of options. It does look like Flux will walk up as quietly as he can. He's going to have to check Salamander's corner if he wants any chance of survival. It looks like he will check and find Salamander. He has to grab the spike, plant it quickly, which time is not on his side as the util's just being thrown at him by Bluey. Swings into Bluey and finds
and he does get the clutch.
Yeah. Great round from Flux, just not playing the spike. He he grabbed the spike, but he pretty much ignored it because he knew he didn't have time to plant.
You copies are nothing.
Yeah, I want to say there was what, like 0.3 seconds left on the timer. I mean, if he just had one more flash, maybe I would have done it.
Yeah, Bluey did a good job kind of throwing utility at him, but yeah, just like barely not enough time. Close round once again, and the timeout is going to come in for UMD to kind of talk about how they want to readjust their defense.
Yeah, I think the crossfire there would have been really beneficial, but I think the positioning wasn't really well to trade because, I mean, Flux knew exactly what he was doing. I mean, he kind of jiggle peeked that a little bit. You can only see a sliver of his body from Salamander's view, but I mean, the breach is just no position to trade.
Yeah, and I don't think UMD is in a position to panic here. Still, they've had some really promising things happen. A lot of promising, glimpses of that teamwork just clicking.
They have been very close rounds, and I think what they're doing is just taking a timeout. They're just like, hey, we gotta figure something out. These are really close rounds. What do we do to make them not close? What do we do to get the edge in these rounds?
Yeah, that is the question that hopefully UMD has discussed and refined over that timeout, as it does look like the fast B execute is in order for the New York Tech side, and there's only 2 UMD defenders on that side. It's going to draw some rotates off of A side. Doesn't look like there's any attackers there anyway.
Yeah, and Salamander did die, so that's their controller gone.
Yeah, and the Cypher setup isn't B either, so this site is not well defended utility-wise, at least from UMD. They're going to have to use their breach utility to try and slow down this execute. Looks like it's going to work a little bit with just 1 or 2 attackers making their way onto this A site, and they're going to have a brawl here before they're able to plant the spike, and Napaso gets traded, and Rewind finds one as well. But there's just trades going back and forth. UMD is
They got to be really aware of the Cypher above.
1 enemy remaining.
Yeah, and that Cypher, they had to be aware of that Cypher, and they got killed by him, and now it's all up to UG to work his way onto the site. I think he's gonna check Heaven out of this page, and he does, but cannot find all 3 at once there.
Yeah, I think that early Omen kill really kind of helped. Really, definitely helped New York Tech get on the site, because that's their Omen gun. I mean, Breach did all he could to help stun and flash and just stall for time, but having the Omen smoke there just gave him a lot of area, because they could just peek out of garage and check corners. Looks like there's gonna be a little bit of an aggressive play here.
Yeah, UMD for once making some mid presence, but not a great round for it, as it looks like there's only 1 attacker there looking towards mid at all. They are gonna do a fair amount of damage on him though, so if they can get that kill, that would be huge. And the trade comes through once again for Rewind. I feel like he's been really unlucky getting traded. Yeah, and just all of a sudden, all of these New York Tech players just flood in towards mid once they have any information that that's where UMD is, and it's just a bloodbath in mid, and UMD coming out on the worst side of it. Once again, all up to UG. Has to kill 4 players with a stinger in hand. His location is probably going to be revealed quickly, as there is a Cypher trip he has to deal with.
Spike planted.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's gonna save here or wrap around.
Yeah, I think especially if you just have a stinger, you need to go for at least some kills too.
Yeah, he could definitely play exits, but it looks like instead he's planning to walk up into a B heaven where it's not going to work out for him, and UMD is at 2-7.
Yeah, I think one of the things that UMD can really start working on is playing for mid control here. I mean, we saw them 2 rounds ago get really aggressive on their save round. I think that, you know, maybe if they started to utilize mid control, it would help cut off a lot of entries into sight, because that every round we've seen some if not a lot of mid presence from New York Tech. Like for example, this round.
Yeah, we are seeing mid presence once again, this time not as heavily contested by UMD, as they didn't push that aggressively like they did last round, instead placing their bets onto sites. And New York Tech is really spread out. I think they do a good job of spreading out and then condensing in one area once they get any sort of information quickly. It does look like they might peek out of this Omen smoke into heaven. There are 2 UMD players with decent eyes off of those 2 entrances out of mid. But it's going to be smoked off by New York Tech, so but they might peek out of their own smoke here. Rewind has to back up because of the Omen flash. And UMD is just getting overwhelmed with utility in A heaven. Salamander, Napasso, both falling on the UMD side. Suddenly it's 2-5. And New York Tech has just been so good at being silent and then all of a sudden just grouping together and making so much trouble. UMD's gonna play this together, just 2 of them left, now down to 1. Bluey is left in a 1v3, and it's just too much of an ask as all eyes were up there on heaven.
We're looking like a little bit of a tech pause. I think there's some issues with communication going on. We did see a little bit of a lag happen, so.
Yeah, it does look like we're in a tech pause. Again, this is I know it's not a timeout, but UMD hopefully gonna be able to use this to either calm down or think about how they want to change their approach, or even start thinking about the attack side, about what they need to bring to that side in order to level things out.
Yeah, and I think that especially with some of these aggressive rounds that we've seen from UMD, I mean, the attack side might look really well because they have that raise, that breach, the gecko, and everything. They have everything to support the raise, so I think they could very well turn this around in attack.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. And there has been issues on the UMD side, not even just playing, but tech-wise, like we said. Their communication, they had a big problem with their communication through Discord last round, which could have explained some of the miscues we saw from them, just looking at their gameplay.
Yeah.
So hopefully those get resolved, and that is another factor that will help UMD, especially as they transition to the attack side.
Yeah, from our knowledge, I believe that the Discord server just poof, gone.
Yeah, unlucky, honestly. That's not their fault. So hopefully they can shake it off.
Yeah, we are getting back here in the round, so it looked like the issue is fixed relatively quickly. And a little bit more of a lag there.
Yeah, New York Tech going towards an uncontested A site, completely no UMD defenders on A site. UG is going to try to quickly rotate. He might be met with a bit of a brawl in heaven here. There's a lot of players who have eyes on him. His location is revealed, but New York Tech is going to just take a full advantage of this site being empty. And it looks like they're going to be able to get a plant down. No problem at all. UMD has to coordinate a retake. Rewind is the first to go down for UMD. Salamander and UG quickly to fall in his footsteps. All up to Bluey and Paso here.
gotta be wary of the raise behind you.
Oh no, it was that Raze just had the flank on them and they did not see that coming, putting things at 2-9.
The trigger discipline of that raise.
Yeah.
I would have shot the first person. I do not have that trigger discipline.
Yeah, neither do I. That's why I'm sitting here. not behind a PC. Yeah, UMD at 2-9. Hopefully they can just find one more round before they transition into the attack side. I think that's all they're kind of hoping for right now. It looks like they might have better weapons in hand, yeah.
Oh, this is a very early ult from the breach. They're just going to be really disappointed because there's nobody there.
Yeah,
Except for the Cypher.
Yeah, just to note, UG has disconnected, I think, from a technical difficulty, so he is not in a position to defend, and the ultimate did get used on him, so maybe that's a plus for UMD. It got used on someone who was disconnected. Salamander peeks out into heaven, finds one. There's a second there, not sure if he's aware of that. Doesn't look like he is, as he doesn't seem to be peeking there. Bluey finds one as well. This round is looking pretty okay for UMD. It looks even
Salamander.
better. Now that Salamander has found a kill, Rewind going in with the Raze ultimate. He has to shoot it through the Viper pit. And I'm not sure if he found anybody. Doesn't look like he did. Bluey finds his second of the round, though. Salamander cleans it up with a 3K.
And they are able to put this at a 3-9 at the half.
And now that we're not on the other side of the 3-9, I don't feel like I'm cursing it, so I'm hoping to see a 3-9 curse here. I feel like when, yeah, I can't, there's very rare instances where I can say that, but I'm hoping we see some 3-9 action. I hope the technical difficulties worked out with UG as well. It looks like he just reconnected.
Yeah, a little weird with Discord crashing and then I guess a PC crashing too here in the studio. It's not something that really happens.
Yeah, they've just been kind of unlucky with the tech stuff so far. Hopefully it's all shaken off, though. Hopefully no more tech issues on the horizon as UMD groups together their attack.
And it looks like they will be able to play with UG. Actually, I don't know. I can't really see him on the map.
I think he's there. I think he's reconnected. I saw he had a ping, so I'm gonna hope, yeah, he's on his cam. Does look like UMD looking towards A site. 2 defenders there, and I'm interested to see how UMD decides to coordinate their attack. Doesn't look like they're focused on any mid presence, and instead they're executing A quickly with players already back into screens. It looks like plant is going to be not an issue for UMD side, forcing New York Tech into a retake right off the bat. 3 of the New York Tech players are sitting heaven, all bunched together. Salamander's about to speak into all of them, and Salamander and Rewind cannot find either. They both get killed. Bluey quickly to follow there too. Suddenly things are not looking good for UMD in a round that looked promising to begin with. And it's just all falling apart here. UG is left to fend the spike from heaven. The positioning is just not a good enough of advantage. That round got turned on its head really quickly.
Yeah, it really did. I think it was because when UMD started to back off of site. I mean, they just left site completely, and they're just trying to go up to heaven. Which, to be honest, I completely understand. I mean, they planted for heaven, but I mean, if you plan for heaven, you might as well have heaven control already, or at least have somebody up there. Because I think those 3 New York Tech players that were coming down towards ramps really caught them off guard.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. And because of they didn't find any success on A side, it looks like they're looking towards B and mid. Napaso gets picked off pretty early with an Outlaw, though.
We see the Outlaw doing some nasty work here.
Again, Rewind also gets picked off, Bluey, too, by this Viper with a Stinger. And once again, it's just up to UG here, who's sitting in sewer. Is just probably hoping someone peeks into him so he can right-click with a Classic. He does 1 kill with a Classic, but now his positioning is revealed, so things are going to be quite difficult. But he finds a second. HP looking not great, but okay. Tries to pull off the right-click when he's blinded and cannot finish things off there.
Yeah, good little play down in sewers there. Just getting 2 picks, farming for ults. But UMD's got to do something now. This is their bye round, so they got to come up with something. It's 3-11.
Yeah, hopefully they can pull off this round. Like you said, it is their bye round, so if there's any round UMD is, at least has a better chance of winning, it's got to be this round for them. As it looks like they're gonna try B for the first time, but they are relatively spread out. It does look like there's only one defender on B side. Outlaw once again becoming an issue for UMD. Rewind satchels out into this B site, and he's gonna find a decent amount of space there. It's gonna lend a plant for the UMD side.
Ugg is just waiting.
Yeah, Ugg knows this was coming. Great intel from Ugg there.
Exactly
Just waiting with, like you said, patience, finding that pick, able to use the Cypher ultimate off of that body.
What a shot.
Yeah, what a shot from Salamander. Unfortunately, he gets traded with the Stinger up close. Looks like Flux is planning to peek into a high-low here from the UMD side. They're going to double swing into it. The double swing works.
Last player standing.
But he would have to defuse the spike. Ugg is just spraying. I know his teammates must be pinging in there. He's just spraying, and it works out as he finds his 3rd of that round to bring it home for UMD. Great round for Ugg.
Yeah, too bad he lost the gun in the end, but, you won the round.
Yeah, you know his teammates were just desperately pinging there probably. So, it worked out for UMD. Hopefully they can gain a little bit of momentum off of that.
This goes here.
Yeah, their buy situation isn't the best, but it's still something to work with. Yeah, we see just 2 Guardians, 2 Vandals, and a Bulldog. Not the most ideal, but there is a Stinger on the other team.
Yeah, Rewind finding value off of that Bulldog immediately. But the trade does come in, as it does look like UMD is making a decent amount of mid presence. Looks like they're looking to rotate A site, which is a great decision considering B is 3 stacked right now. Ugg looks like he's going to make first contact here with his cam into A heaven, which is going to raise some alarm bells for the New York Tech defense, and that's going to draw a lot of rotates their way.
They found my wife. Got you.
It doesn't look like UMD's backing down from A side. It looks like they're actually planning to execute, as they're able to use the Gecko utility, Breach utility to initiate some room onto this A site. But Rewind gets picked off, and UMD's got to clear heaven.
One enemy remaining.
It's just these players heaven that have, been all the difference for UMD. They got to really get better eyes on heaven, I think.
Yeah, they definitely have to start, getting really aggressive and holding places. I mean, they have a lot of util to give them space. They have 2 initiators, a controller, Omen specifically, and then they have the Raze, who can immediately get into anywhere she wants. I think that, to be honest, I think they should start taking heaven a little bit more. Give up sight. Once you have heaven, you can completely just overwhelm sight.
I think you're right, exactly. And if they get that heaven control, it makes it a lot harder for the New York Tech side to even make it to heaven. They got to get through, or get to sight, I mean. They got to get through heaven first before they're able to get to that spike. And it's a matter of, placing attackers there, placing attackers in heaven to watch out for this rotate or this rehit that's happening.
Yeah, and I think one thing that they have struggled here is that once they get that space, they get a little too aggressive. I mean, we've seen that in a couple of their save rounds too. With controlling mid, they just get a little too aggressive instead of just holding really weird angles. And I think that's something they could definitely work on. Do have a little bit of lag going on here with the streaming services, but it looks like it's cleared up.
Yeah. Looks like New York Tech spread out. The Viper Pit is invested for New York Tech mid, which is going to deny UMD much of any mid control unless that Viper Pit dissipates. It does look like UMD is looking towards A site with a lurk from UG.
And that's Spike was not able to get down.
Yes, Wingman got shot. So now UMD does not have access to the spike. They're going to have to quickly get onto side, pick up that spike, and it just looks like it's all falling apart as these UMD attackers are getting picked off one by one. UG has to rotate out into ropes to help Salamander.
What a shot by Salamander.
Yeah, but Salamander making the Bulldog
Player
just
standing.
not, oh my goodness, but the TP just comes at the worst time. And I feel like UG is just always in these unfortunate positions where it's 1v3, 1v4, and he just has to deal with it. 1 HP, things are not looking great, and New York Tech takes the first game of the series.
Yeah, like I said, I think UMD really needed to work on controlling mid there, but New York Tech did exactly that. I mean, the last round they invested the Viper Pit. You couldn't get anywhere near mid. So yeah, I mean, split's a mid game.
It really is. It determines, you know, the whole how that round plays out of who has control over mid. That's usually who's the more like dominant one over the course of that round at least. But that's split over with. Hopefully UMD can regroup before Icebox starts.
Yeah, we do have Icebox coming up. UMD will start on defense. And oh wait, no, I think it's attack. Yeah, it is attack. It is attack, and then New York Tech will be starting on defense. So stay tuned, guys. We'll be back in a few. Welcome back, guys, and we already got into agent select, and we've seen some pretty interesting comps this game. What do you think?
We got a Reyna. That's all I can say. We got a Reyna. We got a Harbor. So I'm excited to see, how I think both of those picks actually are on the New York Tech side.
Yes.
UMD
yeah.
going for a pretty standard composition on their end.
Yeah, rocking with the double controllers there, and UMD really aggressive up in mid.
Yeah, UMD really aggressive. I like to see this confidence from them. Salamander is the first one to find a pick on the UMD side. Rewind follows up, finding a pick himself, finding two actually, making things at a 2v2. HP is not looking good on the UMD side, however, Rewind is quite low. And it looks like they're going to pull a... actually, that's not quite a rotate. They look pretty split up right now. Napasto has access to the spike, but he has to get through this Viper first. The orb actually helps him secure that spike, and it's down to a 1v1. He is forced to get off, or it's to 2v1, excuse me. There's still 2 on the UMD side. So it looks like UMD is looking to possibly regroup together towards this
really
A site.
there,
Yeah,
Paso.
timing just not on Napasto's side. Again, HP not looking good for Rewind. So, but Viper's only half health too, so one shot on either side could do it for them.
I got the spike.
Rewind does have spike, and he gets the spike without being spotted. Looks like he's gonna run quickly onto B side. That's gonna be heard though by the Viper on the other side, as they were pretty close together there.
10 seconds
He's gonna have to plant. Probably has to stick this plant in order to get it. Looks like he does. Quickly backs off and goes up top.
Ooh, the positioning is great. Look behind you.
I don't
Just
think,
the timing.
Yeah, I don't think he was spotted. Fortunately for him, although it does look like the Viper is gonna use his utility just to for a little bit of insurance. That's gonna lead Rewind to get right on top of him without being spotted. It is half. Rewind does know that. Oh, I think he spotted him just outside that smoke, and just so unlucky. Timing not on Rewind's side there. There were so many instances where they just narrowly missed each other.
Yeah, it was a really kind of stress-inducing round right there. Just a really weird encounter.
Yeah, they're playing Ring Around the Rosie a little bit in a weird way, because like they just kept taking turns being up top and in the smoke, and weird round, close round though.
Yeah, Rewind was really going crazy getting those kills.
Yeah, and I do see an outlaw right off the bat, which UMD has to be aware of pretty quickly, so they can play accordingly, as it does look like they're looking towards this A site.
Take flight.
Yeah, and the outlaw comes in huge immediately for New York Tech. And UMD is not backing away quite yet. It still looks like they're just kind of looking for a pick to go their way before they back up, but that's just not going to happen, as this outlaw is too powerful of a weapon, and the Reyna Dismiss paired with it allows him to escape to safety. UG, though, making presence B-side, fast rotate for UMD towards B-side. There's 2 defenders there to contest this site. UMD has to get through them first if they want this plant. It's a bit of an issue on the UMD side, as Rewind and Salamander both get taken out.
Yeah, but UG has a Guardian, and Visor does take him down.
A bit of a chaotic round for UMD, I feel like. They didn't really know what they wanted to get out of that round, it felt like. They didn't know if they wanted to execute A, wait for that outlaw to get taken down, or what.
Yeah, I think it was very like disgruntled in a way. Not a lot of good communication going in there and figuring out what is it that we want to accomplish this round. Do we want to just play for kills? Do we want to win the round?
Yeah, I think communication is key here for the UMD side. They're going to have to, fix any communication issues they might be having quickly, as they are down 2 rounds. And it does look like they're going to be a little bit more passive with the exception of mid, where they're desperately just trying to find an early pick mid. Doesn't look like anyone's going to die quite yet, although damage has been done to the New York Tech side. UMD hasn't really committed anywhere yet. It does look like they're grouping up, maybe looking towards A site, knowing that that outlaw isn't there anymore. They have to be aware of this Viper sitting up nest, though. UG will be aware shortly, and Rewind helps him out there, finding that pick on that Viper, and UMD's gonna try to find some momentum off of that and to get onto site, but this harbor wall is gonna stand in their way.
Yeah, I just want to point out that gun buddy that I just saw on the Singularity share. If it was the NRG gun buddy, I don't know. Just something interesting. I think Valorant's doing with the game is adding, like, you know, their esports side into the regular play.
Yeah, I like that whole bundle. It was a good tournament, but here we are as UMD tries to secure the plan. Rewind gets taken down. Plan is down, so UMD does have the option to play post plan here. Killjoy utility is available on the UMD side. Looks like it's going to be used immediately to just do a little bit of damage because HP is not looking great. For the New York Tech side, UMD might be able to capitalize off of just spraying through that smoke there. And it looks like that's exactly what they'll do, but we are down to a 1v2 in favor of UMD. Great round for Napasso as he finds 3, and he did a whole lot of work with his utility.
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of that utility really confused New York Tech, especially the Harbor. I mean, you know, he was taking damage left and right. He didn't know where to go. And then as soon as he took, I forgot who he took down in lane, but I'm sure they're screaming, the harbor low, and then that just gave the confidence for the KH to take in the final kill.
So UMD found their first round so far, 2-1. Hopefully they're gonna get a little bit of momentum, a little bit of confidence, some money from that round win. Looks like Salamander's gonna use his utility early to get the information that there are 3 defenders on A. Nonetheless, it looks like they're gonna at least see if they can get a pick or 2. They have to be aware of this Reyna once again, who has been causing just so many issues for them on their attack. And I think they saw a little bit too many bodies off that scan than they would have liked to, so it looks like they will rotate.
But New York Tech is also responding with their own rotate.
Yeah, and I love this positioning from UG, though. I hope it works out for him. It's just a matter of gambling. If players come your way, it looks like they will. 2 of them to be exact. He's able to find 1, but the second is able to double swing there and peek that corner. It does look like UMD has found their way onto B site in the meantime. What is that alarm bot doing? The ultimate is popped for Rewind, but he gets taken down right off the bat with it. 3v4 for UMD, make that a 2v3 as the plant is down, but quickly diffused by the defensive side. And is that an ace?
Ace for the Reyna.
That round looked like UMD had things under control until that retake came in against them. And you know what are you going to do against that ace?
Yeah, I mean, that just like sparks confidence in New York Tech there, especially with the Reyna. I mean, you're a Reyna, you get an ace. What do? You're going to ego peak everything because you have so much confidence at that point. And Reyna's kit is all about having confidence.
Yeah, so the Reyna pick is working out for New York Tech so far, dare I say. And it looks like UMD is looking for a pick before they commit to a site this time. They're going to split up with Salamander peeking up into A. Does a fair bit of damage on the Reyna, but is not able to find a kill yet. I think he's trying to escape with his life, narrowly avoids getting picked off by that Reyna. For now, at least, as he does die and Rewind quickly to follow there. Napasso finding a kill for the UMD side, which is the only kill UMD have found this round. The spike is nowhere near any of the UMD attackers, which is going to be an issue for UG.
And UG's kind of pinched up on a B site. I mean, he's got really nowhere to go other than go through main.
And he's got to be careful and quiet and to not, you know, I think his positioning's already kind of revealed, but he just needs to, one, escape with his life or maybe he just charges straight at them and finds a pick. That's an option too, considering, HP not looking good on the other side, but it's just too many players there bunched up onto B site, and we're at 4-1.
Yeah, some very good shots coming out of the Reyna there, and we do see a timeout coming from UMD.
Yeah, I like this early timeout because I think you want to pause before things get too out of control or too you're staring at too big of a mountain there to gain any momentum or confidence off of that. So I think this is a great place for a timeout.
Yeah, definitely. I do really agree with that. Honestly, I think UMD has been doing really well too. They just need to touch up on a couple areas. They need to be really reactive on what New York Tech is doing, because you have a lot of these aggressive pushes, especially from the Reyna last round too. You really got to account for that and just be really reactive, and just really kind of expect anything.
Yeah, and they have to figure out how to deal with this Reyna, I think, is the biggest thing right now. Just they're being so aggressive, and their weapon choice has been just a pain for UMD so far with the Outlaw, and they've had Vandals in hand for most of the rounds, as the economy not looking good for the UMD side because they've only have one round under their belt. So that's another thing UMD is going to have to deal with, and it looks like they do have a bye this round, so hopefully they're able to capitalize off of that.
Yeah, as we get back in the round, we did still see some smiles on some of the players too, so it's not over.
Yeah, that's a great...
Way far from over.
Yeah, good thing to notice is these players are still in this. It's about maintaining a mental, but once again, this Reyna, like we said, is just causing so many issues for the UMD side. KJ Ultimate is invested for UMD, hopefully to, force some of these New York Tech players to back up and give them the site. Rewind be aggressive here. Oh, I actually like that decision from Rewind. I'm sad it didn't work out for him because it looked like it almost did there. And Salamander finds one off of screens, looking for a second, finds the second.
That's the Reyna down too. That's pretty big.
Yeah, and he's looking for more. He is not done with this. Pulls out his ultimate, but it's just him alive. This would have to be huge. Finds his third of the round, and the fourth looking for the ace with the Sheriff in hand. Can he pull off the right click? And barely not. That would have been craziness from Salamander.
Yeah, that would have been a really close round if he just stalled for maybe 2 seconds. But, what more can you do? You're already low on HP. You kind of have to go for the kill.
Last player standing.
Yeah, let's just take another look at this. These are some great kills, some great reaction time. Just was not able to get that last one with only a classic in hand.
Yeah, it was really unlucky that the Harbor smoke went down at that time, because if it stayed up for a minute, he would have gotten a little bit of time to just kind of reposition and maybe play that extra 2.5 seconds.
And this is slowly just starting to get more out of UMD's control as they just keep losing these close rounds and the deficit grows.
Yeah, even though the score says 5-1, oh my gosh, this Reyna.
What a shot. And they're pushing up once again, but Rewind responds. Rewind's been having a lot of success with that Bulldog.
And UG with a nasty shot.
Yeah, these are some great shots, putting UMD at a slight numbers up, but not for long as Salamander does fall. But Omen Ultimate invested for UMD. Looks like they're going to have B-site without any problem. Viper Ultimate for a little bit of extra insurance.
And we got Rewind in a really good position right here.
3v3, but they do have to work around the Viper Ultimate, and that turret might give Rewind away. So it looks like he was able to escape. Is he going to peek down into the right angle? No, not quite. UMD down to a 2v2 as UG is able to find that trade, and it's just they have to work through the smoke. UG gets picked off, so that smoke does dissipate, and UMD just has to spray the spike, but there's just too many New York Tech players to deal with.
Yeah, it's just really unlucky unlucky on the positioning there, especially for UG. I mean, he had a great Viper wall. It just had so much space there, but the other Viper was able to come in and just take him down from that. Let's look at the shot from Reyna.
Yeah,
wow.
That was a great shot. UMD just like has to be aware of where this Reyna is, I think.
Yeah, the Reyna is everywhere. I mean,
yeah.
They've popped out a tube. They've, you know, ran straight up on Cat and pulled out a couple shots.
Yeah, it's hard to stop a Reyna, especially when they're having that good of a game. As you said, their kit is all based on confidence. And UG gets picked off quite early, and this Sova ultimate from the New York Tech side also gonna do damage, forced to rotate from UMD. And this Reyna has some crazy positioning towards spawn, but Bluey able to take care of it.
I think I'd be really wary of this pinch here coming from mid.
Yeah, UMD is quite pinched here. Like you said, if they rotate mid, they're going to get spotted by those two defenders. If they go B, they're going to have to kill those other two defenders to get that bomb down. There really is no good option here. It looks like they're opting for the mid option, and they're going to swing as a group. It doesn't work out for Napaso, but Bluey is there to secure a trade.
Last player standing.
Ultimately, Bluey falls to UMD. Rewind just not able to find that kill to back him up, and 7-1, things are just getting out of control. But New York Tech is having a good game. You know, gotta give credit where credit is due. They're doing all the right things on their side, really playing cohesively as a team, really doing a good job at giving UMD no options. They're certainly not making it easy.
Yeah, they are a very aggressive team too. I mean, if they find space, they take it and they hold it, and they find more space. Like especially for this Viper, super aggressive there, but just knows when to back off.
Yeah, UMD looking like they're gonna push into that Viper that they spotted. Try to find that pick to, you know, deny any of that Viper utility being used later in the round. Looks like Salamander is able to find that pick, but at the cost of Rewind's life. And UMD doesn't have control of the site yet. It looks like they're just trying to feel out how many players there really are present to decide if they want to rotate or not, because they do have their Viper sitting on an open A site.
Yeah, but they also have the Reyna is also there too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
so
weird
very
positioning
weird
on the A site.
Right here.
Yeah, and UG, I'm sure, is saying, hey, I have a free site. Meanwhile, Salamander says, I got shock darts, and finds one with his shock darts, finds a third with his Vandal. Looks like they're not even going to need this A site, but they do still have to deal with this Reyna.
It's going to be a very unexpected flank. Nobody's looking back.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're aware of the positioning. Now they definitely are. The Reyna finds one in a second. Hopefully UMD can play together here, holding a crossfire, high-low, something to make this unwinnable for the Reyna.
Yeah, I think they're just going to work on a double peek here, and they do, and UG's able to get the trade.
Yeah, that's exactly how they should have played that as a team. Just, you know, doing something that would pretty much secure them the round win. No one peeking out of that Viper wall too early.
Yeah, and with that, UMD is still in this. I mean, it's 7-2, but that's 5 rounds.
Yeah, very doable for UMD if they can just get a little bit of this momentum on their side, or maybe defense is their side on Icebox. It's anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, definitely. They do have the double controller and a Sentinel, so defense could be looking pretty promising.
Once again, this Viper just being so aggressive from B site. Napaso makes some contact. No one dies yet, but it does look like Napaso is hungry to swing in to hopefully find that kill. Is not able to quite yet. And Bluey and UG fall quickly, and that was just probably the fastest
Wow.
round we've had all series.
Yeah, it looked like the sides kind of switched there too, with UMD coming from mid and CT, while we had some players from New York and Maine.
Yeah, that was quick and painful for the UMD side round, as it just feels like you lost everybody instantly. You didn't even have time to reconsider a rotate or, you know, anything really. You just get picked off.
Yeah, and like we've been talking about all game, Reyna has just been going off. I mean, at this point, there's no way to stop the Reyna.
Yeah, they have to, you know, play strategically around her, double swing her consistently, I think is the only option here. Rewind finds one with his knives, looks for a second, finds a great kill with his knives, looks for the third, can't find it, but he's definitely made some leeway for UMD as they're able to get the plant down. It looks like New York Tech is regrouping to try and form some sort of a re-hit.
Yeah, and they do have access to some guns too.
Yeah, Bluey has
really
eyes
big.
on Heaven though, and now his position is revealed. It looks like UMD's gonna opt to hold this crossfire. It didn't quite work out, as Flux still is on site, pretty unchecked. It doesn't look like the Sova ultimate is hitting him at all. So he doesn't take any damage, and he swings out actually.
Akira is able to work the 2v1 there.
Yeah, that was another painful one for Maryland. It feels like they had that. They,
Yeah.
you know, Rewind opened it up great that round. Got that Reyna killed almost instantly, and they had the plant down. It just slipped away from them.
Yeah, I think UMD, especially in the last game, has had some trouble really holding space, and I think they just allowed a little too much space coming from the retake as well, because they had numbers. It was a 3v2. I just think the position could be just a little better to just kind of hold off New York Tech. When we do see the op coming out from the Reyna, this could be a very big hit or miss. But
Yeah, this is scary. It looks like Reyna's planning to be aggressive with the operator, and now UMD aware that the op is in play.
Ugg is definitely aware of where the Reyna was.
Killjoy ultimate used for UMD. Ugg opens things up for UMD, finding the first pick, and he's going to quickly rotate to help his team out on this A site where the spike is secured. Salamander also helping things out here. Napaso tucked away in that corner is able to find one. Gets traded though, as he cannot find the second, but UMD in a 2v4. Hopefully they can pull this round off with such a great numbers advantage and with spike down. Time is on UMD's side here. If they choose to play time, Rewind though, and Salamander watching that screen's entrance, and it pays off.
Switching sides.
Yeah, and here we are in another 9-3 game. Hopefully, UMD can take this back and start showing us some defense.
Yeah, hopefully defense is their side. You gotta just hope that the mental flips or the game plan just, flips as you get onto a different side. I think that's kind of what UMB's hoping for, that they get into some sort of groove on defense.
Yeah, and like we've been saying a lot of the game, I mean, the Reyna's KD just speaks for itself. I mean, that's what you want to see in duelists, especially a Reyna too. Being able to utilize Reyna's kit like that and really just play that aggressive.
Yeah, speaking of aggression, it does look like New York Tech is being aggressive onto B site. The Viper utility from UG is going to slow things down though. Great utility from both UG and the rest of the defensive side there, Louis specifically. Regardless, looks like plant is going to come down for the New York Tech side, force a retake from UMD. And with Bluey and UG taken down, this is going to be a difficult retake from UMD to say the least. Although it is a 2v3 HP, not looking amazing on the New York Tech side, although the kill feed is not looking great for the UMD side at this point. Unless Salamander has anything to say about it, this is definitely doable for him, especially because he knows the Soba's positioning. What a great shot!
Knows where the Viper is.
Down to a 1v1. He knows the positioning, but cannot quite finish it off. But great effort from Salamander.
Yeah, he was just inches away from winning that round.
This is not what UMD wants to see at another 10-3 position, just like they were last map.
Yeah, I think if you're UMD here, you really got to buy up. I mean, you've already lost so much momentum, and you just have to, do something creative. I mean, what more can you do?
Yeah, they're just gonna have to really play out of their comfort zone here and pull something crazy off if they want to make a comeback from this deficit. And the whole map seems to be grouped up towards A site, where it looks like UMD is going to be slightly aggressive. Nothing too crazy yet, as no one's died, but UMD just doesn't have the best guns in hand, so they're really going to have to play together. And play together they will, as it works out, as they kind of gang up on that Reyna.
Yeah, here we see UMD really trying to take their aggressive side, too, but still is.
Yeah, and everyone just bunched together in screens, and somehow it's a 1v1. Not sure how we got here. Down to Napaso and the Viper both have stingers in hand. Positioning is revealed for both sides, and oh my goodness, Napaso is just doing so much damage there. HP heavily favoring his side now, as long as he can just get one more shot off of that Viper. I think he should be able to take away this round for his team. Here's the plant go down, so time is not on UMD's side anymore, as this Viper is going to slowly and quietly back up via ropes and just play bomb.
I think that was a very smart decision, but we'll have to see how. Oh.
I don't think Napaso is super aware of his positioning, as Reyna has been dead silent, and yeah, Viper, but yeah, Viper just, not making a sound, gave Napaso just no idea where they were.
Last player standing.
Yeah, it was a very good positioning from the Viper there, but that little encounter outside of I think that's what's Cave, right?
Yeah, where
Cave
yeah.
Whatever it is, but that encounter was really weird. I mean, like, you got to really lock down those kills, and those are the parts where you just can't whiff at all.
Yeah, Napaso is just so close to killing the Viper right there and then.
Yeah.
Couldn't quite finish it off there, and he paid for it. And great job from that Viper. That's kind of a big brain play, being dead silent, going ropes, wrapping around. Like, I couldn't have made that up myself. So, great job from the New York Tech side. Once again, they're having a great game. UMG just has to respond better.
Yeah, like we said, a lot of these rounds have been really close. I mean, a lot of them have ended up in a 2v2, 1v2, 2v1, all that kind of stuff. They just really got to lock these rounds in. I think that going forward, this is going to be something that they're going to really look out for, is especially, holding this space that they've gotten, especially during post plant too.
All right, let's see what UMD can cook up on the defensive side as we start getting close, as to the end here potentially. Rewind makes contact off of one, cannot find the kill. He backs up. He does have an outlaw in hand though. Napaso does get taken out, which is just one more gun down for UMD, and it's just falling apart for the UMD side as UG gets traded as well. Like, things are not looking good as it's all up to Salamander with Bulldog in hand. Finds the first, cannot find the second, putting New York Tech at series point.
Match point.
Oh, almost done? Cool. cool.
This just fell apart for UMD pretty quickly and out of nowhere. I feel like they were right in this game in the beginning rounds, and they were pretty neck and neck, but for some reason, just things have seemed to not work out for them for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're UMD in this spot, it might look completely over, but you really gotta dig deep and find something that works. You see some pretty cool angles there from the observer cam.
It does look like New York Tech making presence on the A site.
But the Rhino lurk.
Yeah, the Rhino look could be doing is it looks like they're going to make contact with Napaso. Napaso finds that kill. Huge deal for the UMD side, but meanwhile on A, things are not looking good. Although, what a good Sova ult, forcing that plant to be delayed just slightly. But it's just too much coming from the Texas Tech, or sorry, where did Texas come from? New York Tech side, and they were able to come away with the series. Great job from New York Tech. Unfortunately, it does end UMD's playoff run in the semifinals.
Yeah, they did still play a pretty good game. Like I said, a lot of these rounds are really close, and they just really got to work on closing out these rounds and holding the space they spent so much time to gain throughout the round.
Yeah, well, this has been, regardless, a fun series to watch. It's been fun to have the Academy team in the studio for the first time. I hope they're able to, come back next season with this under their belt and come back kicking.
Getting to semifinals is still
great accomplishment.
It's a really good accomplishment. And, even the fact that they were undefeated going up until this game, that's still something to hold on to.
Yes, well, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you all have enjoyed watching this as much as we have enjoyed casting. And we will send it off.